Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with an impromptu video. A video I had no intention of making, but I actually feel like I do have to make it now. And it's actually in response to the previous video which I put up today. I did a short video, about 5 minutes long or so, of the Heirloom mount that you can get in patch 6.1. Now the Heirloom mount, you need 35 Heirloom pieces to get it, which is quite a considerable number if you really think about it in the grand scale of things. Put it this way, if you've got almost or near to or just over 35 Heirloom pieces, then the chances are that you have been using those Heirloom pieces to level up characters. You see, there's a little bit of logic in there. And if you do get these 35 pieces, then you get the chauffeured motorcycle, whether it be the chopper or the hog, it doesn't matter, Horde or Alliance, irrelevant, where your character goes into the passenger seat and an NPC goes into the driver's seat, and you still physically have to drive it around though, but it looks as if you're being chauffeur driven. That's the thing about it. Now I did a little annotation skit between myself and the driver, because this is usable at level 1, and currently the vast majority of mounts kick in at level 20. Not the sea turtle. From what I can gather, the sea turtle you can use at level 1 anyway, so this chauffeured mount isn't anything kind of like drastically new. And ages ago, I did an Ads Chats video, I think going way back into the early stages of my Ads Chats videos. I did an Ads Chats videos where I was just like, why do we even need to have no mounts between level 1 to 20 anymore? Why? I don't understand why. And a lot of people kind of like blowing this Heirloom mount out of all proportions, like, oh, you're not understanding it. You can use it at level 1. It's going to help out drastically. It's it only goes at level at 60% speed because it's just taking you through to level 20 until you get your normal riding, and then you can go off and blah 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 blah. And I think these people, and I don't mean it in a nasty way, but I think they're a little bit delusional. And I'm not trying to fire shots at people and be malicious, but I do think there's a little bit of a delusional element in here. And I'll tell you for why. 10 years ago, when the World of Warcraft first came out, it is nothing like the game we have now. Nothing. Aesthetically looks the same-ish. I know we've had character model tweaks and all that, but that is pretty much the only thing that remains in the World of Warcraft that is the same as 10 years ago. The way that characters level up, the way that dungeoneering used to be so special, all that kind of stuff. I think the only kind of similarities left are the Azeroth, and sort of like the end of the game's content is raiding. Although they're trying to turn that into say, no, it's not necessarily raiding, but come on, let's face it, it is raiding, isn't it? And it used to be a massive chore to even get to be able to mount up. When I joined the game in March 2007, I had to get to level 40 before I even got my first mount. My first ground mount. You couldn't mount up until you got to level 40. And then you got a 60% movement speed mount. You had to get to level 60 until you could boost that to 100% speed riding mount. Right? So things have drastically changed since then. Since those days have gone, we can now mount up at level 20. And that was brought in quite a while ago as well. And the point is, since even it was brought in at level 20 to now, the game is drastically different. Look, we now have heirloom items coming out of our kahunas, or our bottoms, or our tiddy bags. We've got heirloom items coming out of every single orifice which we own in the world. We can have heads, we can have shoulders, we can have chests, we can have backs, we can have weapons, we can have offhands, we can have legs, and we can have trinkets, and even rings. So there's very few spots left to actually cater for an heirloom. I think it's braces and gloves, and that might just be it. So just those two areas, and there we go. And also, on top of these heirlooms, with a lot of them granting EXP boosts, we have the elixirs, which increase the amount of experience that we get by 300%. 100%. And they can be used at level 1, and they can take you all the way through to level 84. That is a huge amount. I've got some of them stored in my bank. So, you know, if I wanted to level up a character, I would just throw a couple of those on, you know, every now and again, and blast my way through. So this whole heirloom mount being able to be used at level 1 is not a game changer. It's not a massive big deal. It's irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant, because the time it will take you to get your character from level 1 to level 20 will be next to no time. And in the grand scale of leveling, level 1 to 20 will be gone in the blink of an eye. So that period where you can mount up at level 1 on the heirloom mount and go around between 1 and 20 will be a fraction. An absolute fraction of the leveling up process if you want to go through from level 1 to level 100. Is that therefore game changing? No. Not even close to game changing. Is it a little bit of a help? Yes, it's a tiny, minuscule bit of help to an outdated system that we shouldn't even have to be discussing, because let's face it, you should be able to use any mount now at level 1. And it's not turning the game into easy mode or anything like that whatsoever. It's just irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant now that we can't mount up between 1 and 20 on all of our mounts. Absolutely irrelevant. The only thing that it does between 1 and 20 is just slow the process down ever so slightly. Not much, just ever so slightly. Because if I've got my heirlooms on, and if I want to qualify for this mount, of course, I've got to have 35 heirlooms. Therefore, the character which I'm leveling up is most likely covered in EXP heirlooms. And then if I've killed a few of the elites, the elite creatures, the rare elites, for the Steamweedle Preservation Society in Gorgrond, and they've dropped the bags, and you've opened up the bags, and they've got the elixirs inside, or if you've gone to the Timeless Isle, and you've killed Archie there, and he's dropped an elixir, or you've gone over to the Rare Elite, which is just on the corner between Veil of Eternal Sorrows and also Dread Wastes, that one there, I think it's Karg or Kang, something like that. He could potentially drop one. So there's lots of methods to get these elixirs, which also grant you 300% EXP. So covered in heirlooms, which grant you EXP, plus, even at best, having the elixir on, which grants another 300%, you will be at level 1 to 20 like that. Like that. And that is the time period where that mount is useful. A minute, irrelevant piece of time. So it's not missing the point. It's not a game changer. This mount is absolutely none of that whatsoever. It's gonna help you out for about an hour, 90 minutes. And that is it. From 20 all the way through to 100, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. That's going to take a lot longer. Those 80 levels are going to take a whole lot longer than the 90 odd minutes that it took for you to get with your loomed up character from 1 to 20. So we do have to put the mount into perspective. Some people really trying to defend it, and you know, fair enough, if you want to do that, that's your prerogative to do so. All I'm trying to do is just keep everything grounded. That wasn't a stab at people that can't getting pissed off about no flying. I'm just trying to keep things grounded, that this mount is nothing special. It's nothing amazing, and to be quite honest with you, it's just fulfilling a role which, let's face it, should already be in the World of Warcraft. So there we go. The heirloom mount. Some people are going to love it. Some people aren't going to be bothered by it. Some people are just going to be indifferent about it anyway. But it's not a game changer. It's going to help you out for about 90 minutes. And then the other several hours of leveling up, however it may be, the other 24 hours worth of leveling, plus on top of it, are going to feel just completely another world. because you won't remember the 90 minutes beforehand that it took you to get from level 1 to level 20. And then this 10-minute video, because I've recorded this before I've actually put the footage to the video, this 10-minute video, which is going to come to a close now, I probably loomed up a character and put an elixir on it, and I'd be amazed to see what level it is in 10 minutes. So yeah, heirloom mount, let's just put it into proportion. It's nothing massive, it's nothing big. The fact that it doesn't go to 100% after level 40 or whatever baffles me. I think Blizzard just need to up that. So if people at level 100 want to ride around on it as their main mount, at least make it full speed instead of this thing that's stuck at 60% from 1 to 100. Come on, let's just get some reality back in our diet. So there you go, heirloom mount. Oi, oi, oi. Mountains out of molehills, people. Mountains out of literally what is a molehill of your leveling up experience. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media as well as Twitch for live streaming. Those links are in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye. I bet I got to around about level, I don't know, between level 7 and level 8, I reckon. That's where I reckon I'll be.